Hey, what is good, YouTube? What is good, PlayStation Nation? It is your boy Persona of Gaming with Persona and one half of the What's Up PlayStation podcast crew. And I'm coming at you guys with a new video, man. This video is going to be our review of State of Play June 2022, right? Listen, PlayStation, if you're listening, I know you're listening, PlayStation. That is how you do a State of Play. You feel me? That is how you start off Summer Game Fest. PlayStation understood the assignment. They understood the needs of the gamers, the needs of the people, and they said, yes, 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 PlayStation Nation, we got you. We are going to deliver. And oh boy, did they absolutely do that. Listen, I don't even know where to start because there's just uh, so much that was shown that just like really has me like extremely hyped that I personally do not know where to start, man. I'm gonna say this, right? PlayStation's state of plays have been a little hit or miss depending on which one it is. I know the one before this one was the Japanese focused state of play, which I thought was really good actually. There were quite a few games that came out of that I was really feeling. You know, Valkyrie Elysium and you know, Diofield and a couple other games, right? But you know, it's the summertime, right? It's E3 season. You know, even though E3 isn't happening, it's E3 Summer Game Fest season, and it's been about 2+ months since PlayStation really gave us the news that we're looking for. Final Fantasy XVI, God of War Ragnarok, and a slew of other games we can't wait to see and get our hands on and play. And PlayStation's been quiet. It's been really quiet. A little too quiet, if you ask me. But they definitely did deliver when it comes to this State of Play June 2022. I want to start with the highs, right? No, you know what? Let's start with the lows, right? The lows for me personally, there weren't many lows. I'm gonna be honest. The only lows for me personally was maybe 2 or 3 games, which was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution, which got announced for the PlayStation VR 2, right? And what's that other one? The Season A Letter to the Future. Those were probably, and Tunic as well. I'm not really super duper hyped for that. You feel me? Those will probably be the 3 games that weren't really games, but I'm like, you know, it is what it is, right? But most everything else I thought was on point, right? Resident Evil Remake, amazing. Highly excited for that, right? It looks really good as well. Resident Evil, also Resident Evil Village with PlayStation VR 2 confirmed, right? And trust me when I tell you that this was the right game to make PSVR 2, you feel me? What else? Horizon Call to the Mountain, right? This was a game that I personally was really excited for. I can't wait for this. I'm a big fan of the Horizon series, right? Shout out to Gorilla and the team over there, man. They Horizon 1 and Horizon 2, I think, are awesome games, right? So Horizon Call to the Mountain, it's kind of a partnership development here with Gorilla and Fire Sprite games, who are going to be making this game, and it looks great, man. From the gameplay that I saw, I thought this game looked phenomenal. PSVR 2 in itself looks like it's really going to be a very powerful piece of technology, and it's really looking like we're really going to be getting those high quality experiences that we are used to getting on the PlayStation 5. We're now going to be getting those on the PSVR 2 as well. The games that I saw, even the Walking Dead game, even though I'm not really into that, even that game, like it looked like a full-fledged game. It didn't look like an experience, quote unquote, right? It looked like a full-fledged game, something that you really gonna be playing, right? So I think that's really dope. RE4 remake, No Man's Sky, PSVR 2 confirmed as well. I thought that was really dope. I thought that you know, not PSVR, but No Man's Sky is a game that has gone through a lot in its developmental life, right? Game's been out for like, you know, 5+ years, maybe even longer. And you know, they've definitely turned this game around. So PSVR 2, that was a no-brainer. I'm glad that did happen. Let's talk about the elephant. No, matter of fact, not even the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Stray real quick. So Stray, this is a game that I'm really excited for. Stray is a cat. Is a game with a cat. You play as a cat, right? In this cyberpunk dystopian type of world. And with the new trailer that they showed at the State of Play, you know, it's gonna be some stealth elements and and some other things there that I definitely think is going to be pretty cool. I don't really see this game having a lot of like super crazy action oriented combat. I think it's more of a stealth adventure, which I don't mind, right? Like I said, the world looks good, the cat looks good, like the cat model. And I'm a cat person, man. I love cats, right? I think cats are awesome. So Stray has been a game that I've been really excited for a long time. So I'm really excited that we're finally getting this game. So the game is coming out July 19th of this year, and for the PS Plus Extra and PS Plus Premium, so those are the two higher tiers, this game will be free within the service. So that's a good added bonus as well. Shout out to PlayStation, for bringing those new experiences like that. Stray is definitely a game, like I said, I can't wait to play it. I'm excited. Even if it wasn't coming to the service, I'd be picking this up. So my excitement for this game is really high, right? Roller Drome. Yeah, Roller Drome, that's what it is. I'm thinking it's Roller Drone. And I think at one point I said Roller Derby. I don't know why. Roller Drome is a dope game, and it's made by the Ali World creators, right? And it's a futuristic blood sport game. This game is coming out August. Make sure I get my times right. August 16th, I believe this game is dropping. Yes, it is. August 16th, this game is dropping. Now, this game is more of like a roller skating, shooter, and you're doing cool little tricks on a rollerblades or roller skating, and you're shooting up these enemies. The premise is not really made clear to me. Like, why are we shooting up these bad guys? Is this all like for sport? Is this for like some type of bigger mission or whatever the case may be? But it's intrigued me enough because you're on skates and you shooting up people. I like it. I think it looks dope, man. So I can't wait to get my hands on that. Another game that really stood out to me, man. This was probably like one of the biggest highlights for me. The Callisto Protocol, right? Callisto Protocol is these. It's one of those horror games, kind of like Resident Evil, kind of like Dead Space and those types of games. And this game was definitely one of the most beautiful games at the show. They really outdid themselves when it comes to this game, Callisto Protocol. I'm not really like a big horror game player per se, but this game caught my attention enough to where I'm like, yo, I can't wait to pick this up. I can't wait to play that. So that was definitely a highlight for me. And then Ether Knights, which is a dating sim mixed with an action RPG. And shout out to the creator of this, man. I found this out during earlier in the week, that the creator of Ether Knights is actually his inspiration for the game was Persona 5 and Persona 3 and 4, and he played all those games back to back. And after he did, he quit his job and went to make Ether Knights, and he made this game in like under 3 years, right? It's a very action oriented game, a lot of combat, and it's a dating sim mixed into it, right? So for my anime nerds out there, for the weebs, I think this is definitely right up everyone's alley in that community. I'm excited to play it. That's definitely a day one. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Which is, matter of fact, I'm gonna save Marvel Spider-Man, the PC. I'm gonna save that for later because that's gonna take a little bit of a longer conversation, right? But Street Fighter 6, right? Street Fighter 6 is the big surprise for me personally. I was very, very, very surprised that we got this game at the showcase. I personally thought this would have hit Evo and not the state of play. But then again, PlayStation's like, yo, go big or go home. You feel me? Again, I'm really excited of how they kind of like opened up this show and kind of like started off with a bang when it comes to this Summer Game Fest and summertime gaming news and these showcases and whatnot. I definitely think PlayStation knocked it out the park. Street Fighter 6 looks so beautiful. It looks so fun. I love the fact that all the characters are aged up, right? And they look older, especially if you've grown up playing these games, right? It's good to see these characters grow up as well and kind of get older, especially for the 30 and over crowd that's been playing these games since like the SNES days and whatnot. So it's really good to see these characters older, aged up, and kind of moving on with their lives, right? And I can't wait to get into this game. Seeing the open world RPG-esque type of things going on with the story. I think that's gonna be pretty dope. And then seeing the new things with like the drive system, the modern and classic controls, the character, the HUD, all of it looks pretty dope, except for that modern. That modern system is pretty crazy. I'm actually gonna do a separate video talking about this at a later time. Later this week, I'm gonna talk about that. But I want to talk about this elephant in the room, right? Which is Marvel hitting PC, right? Because you got everybody like, oh well, this is so great, man. Marvel's finally going to PC. I'm so happy everyone gets to play it. And and I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, look, I've talked about this a million times. I don't know how much more I need to talk about this, right? I'm really not going to go too deep into this because what I've said, I've said this like almost 3 years ago now, right? Where I've been talking about this and how, like, you give them an inch, they take a mile, and all this other stuff. Me personally, I don't think PC deserves any game coming from PlayStation, personally speaking, but that's just me. It is what it is, though. You feel me? It's happening. PlayStation's gonna be putting more of their games on PC. So Marvel Spider-Man did get confirmed to be going to PC in August, and then Spider-Man Miles Morales will be going to PC in the fall, right? And listen, I just don't like the fact that this was shown at the State of Play. I feel like stuff like this does not need to waste a time slot of showing people this, especially a game like Marvel Spider-Man that's 4 years old and Miles Morales that's going on 2 years old. You feel me? It doesn't need to be at a State of Play. This is something that could have been a blog post, right after the fact. Like, hey guys, also, Marvel Spider-Man heading to PC at this time or whatever. I don't like how they're incorporating a lot of PlayStation-centric shows, incorporating a lot of that PC stuff. I'm not really feeling that, honestly and truly speaking. But and like I've said before, I think with PC, PlayStation, they are going to start putting more of their games on there, and I definitely think some of the live service games will definitely be some of the games that will be hitting PC as well. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, for that, it is what it is. I didn't like it though. That definitely got points taken off, which we'll talk about towards the end. But then let's talk about the crown jewel, right? The thing that put a smile on my face. Boy, oh boy, I I've been so excited for this game for so long and been so hyped and been waiting patiently for this game, waiting for the new trailer. Shout out to Yoshi P, highly respected in the community, man. I'm a big fan of his. Final Fantasy XVI. We got the new trailer that closed out the show here at State of Play. If you watched my live reaction, I was hyped as hell. I was through the moon hyped about this. You feel me? I personally can't wait for this game. The new trailer looks so dope. The music, the ambiance, the combat looks amazing. The icon, the dominance and the icons, right? Getting some some small little story tropes, a glimpse into some other characters. We found out about Hugo, Koopa, and what's her name? Dominica or something like that. I forgot. I can't even pronounce her name. I forgot her name. But the Garuda dominant, right? And getting to see what all the dominants are going to be there. So Titan, Garuda, Bahamut, Ramu, Ifrit, Phoenix, Odin, Shiva. This game is really it's really gonna be next level, man. I really can't wait for this. I'm gonna be doing a separate trailer breakdown and going more in depth about my thoughts and whatnot when it comes to the trailer and this game. The other thing too is, man, this game is going to be coming out in summer of 2023. Listen, the whole time I was watching the trailer, I was so hyped. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I can't wait. Oh my God, yes. And when I saw that summer 2023, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little like, come on. This wait is gonna be so hard, right? I knew it wasn't gonna be coming out in 2022, but I would have thought that Square Enix would have kind of given us a January or February release window instead of a summer release window, right? That's what kind of surprised me, especially with how much they were saying about how finished the game was and how they were, just polishing up the game and whatnot. I didn't think, and again, I don't know how development works on the back end, so I'm not going to pretend like I know how these things work. I just, I don't know, a whole year for polish. The game I, when I hear that, like, they're taking a whole extra year to polish the game, that's letting me know that, yo, this game is, I feel like the map for this game is going to be huge. Like, I'm talking monumental. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be a lot to do here, right? Especially if you know how Final Fantasy XIV is, right? Even though that's an MMO, right? So obviously those worlds are going to be really huge because of that. I just think because Yoshi P is, he headed up that team and headed up that game, I think a lot of that's going to be translating here to Final Fantasy 16 as well, in terms of, like, again, how large the world is, what you can do, how much you can do, the little secrets and all that different stuff. I think it's a lot here, right? Which gets me even more excited, right? So, Final Fantasy 16 most definitely was the highlight of the show, right? And I personally cannot wait for this game. This game is absolutely a day one for me, personally speaking. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. What a way to start off Summer Game Fest, right? So in terms of my score, right, I'm gonna give State of Play a 9 out of 10, right? So during my live reaction, I gave it a 10 out of 10, and that's because, I was so hyped up, so fired up. Oh my God, super excited because of seeing everything, especially Final Fantasy 16, which definitely was the highlight for me. And so it was a 10 out of 10, but I slept on it. I thought about it. And even on What's Up PlayStation podcast, I ended up changing my score because I'm like, the whole PC thing, that's really the only thing for me. The whole PC announcement stuff, I'm not digging that stuff, man. Like, I'll never be okay with that. I'm never gonna, like, dig that, right? You feel me? So I took a whole point off for that. But I'm like, nah, we taking points off for that, man, right? So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, right? This was a phenomenal show. Shout out to PlayStation, man. They really knocked it out the park. They understood the assignment, right? And this just gets me more excited for what's to come from PlayStation, because we still got God of War Ragnarok, right? I personally think that's going to be shown at one of two things will happen with that. Either it'll get shown at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest next week, and then we'll get a State of Play announcement later on, closer to launch, or there's going to be a whole another State of Play announcement within like a week or two of Jeff Keighley's showcase, and that's when we'll get more gameplay, the release date, collector's edition announcement, all that stuff. I think that's when we'll get all of that when it comes to that. But in terms of how this was, in terms of an opener, this was fire, man. This was fire. Shout out to PlayStation. Shout out to all the people that was there, all the developers, all the games that was shown. I'm gonna be honest, like I'm kind of like, how can we top this? Like outside of, and I said this on Twitter, outside of God of War, and again, this is just for me personally. This is just me personally. There's a couple other games that I want to see that I'm really excited for as well, like JRPGs and like Jedi Fallen Order and a couple other games, right? But in terms of like topping this, I'm gonna be honest, man. The only thing that can top this to me this year in terms of other showcases really and truly is only going to be God of War Ragnarok State of Play. Like a dedicated 10-15 minute God of War Ragnarok State of Play. Just because my hype for Ragnarok is so high, and we know that that's coming out this year as well. That really is the only thing that can top this for me. This right here, in terms of my opinion, this State of Play is definitely the pinnacle right now in terms of greatness when it comes to these showcases. The other showcases, they got a tough battle, in my opinion. They got a pretty tough battle. But we'll see what happens. Next week you got a lot of stuff for Call of Duty, Jeff Keighley's State of Play, not State of Play, but Summer Game Fest, and the Xbox Bethesda showcase that Sunday. So we'll see what happens. You feel me? But again, my score for State of Play June 2022 for PlayStation is a 9 out of 10. But yo, let me know in the comments how y'all felt about the games that were shown. Let me know what your score was. Why'd you give it a score? I would love to see what the community thinks as well. But look, man, it's been your boy Persona, gaming with Persona. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, definitely like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of y'all, all the supporters, all the people that come through to watch my content. And I'll see you guys next time. Y'all be safe. Peace.